Overdose awareness is important to me because it's affected me on a personal level with a family member. It's also impacted me professionally in a work capacity, and it's something that I hold really important.
It's absolutely vital that we raise awareness around overdose prevention because these are completely preventable deaths. And for me, any day and any campaign that allows us as professionals, us as drug users, to raise awareness in the general public is key.
I knew somebody who had the whole life ahead of them and had really got to a place in their life where they were going to make something happen. And everything had kind of led up to a really, really good moment for this person. And one night they went out, they were feeling great, they were celebrating, and the worst thing happened. And it was an overdose of party drugs. And then it just, it was just gone. That was all gone. And it was a real tough thing for a lot of people around them, the friends and family.
Because I think even a little bit of education and a little bit of awareness can save lives in the long run, and in the short run, I mean, really every day should be Overdose Awareness Day, but and sometimes it helps, with the media and stuff like that. People are paying more attention to it on a special day.
Overdose awareness is important to me because, there's a lot of drug-related deaths around people overdosing. And in my own experience in active addiction, I've experienced my own overdoses by not being careful of what I'm taking and not realising how my tolerance level was at the time and took too much.
Awareness is important to me because my father died. My dad used to use a lot of substances and stuff, and he passed away in his sleep. Obviously the drugs and the alcohol played a major part in that. His heart just stopped. He took a lot of tablets, a lot of alcohol. He used to take other class A drugs, and I think his body had just had enough and he couldn't take it no more. So when we got the coroner's report, it was all the drugs and that played a major factor in his passing away.
I think it's important because it gives families a chance to grieve the losses, and I think it needs to be there to raise awareness as well.
I've lost a lot of people along my way in my journey. A close friend, like one of my mates, passed away the other day from drug overdose. On the zombies and the pre-gamps, and he was on the heroin as well. So it's personal to me.
Well, we don't want to lose any more people from our community, do we? It's simple as, isn't it? That's what we're here for. Keep people alive, keep people growing, keep people prospering.
Overdose awareness is important to me, to remember all those people, family, friends. And it reminds me why I do what I do, something behind others.
It's very important to make sure that people are aware that they can overdose and that they can come back from an overdose too.
It's very important to me because overdose has been a part of my past with addiction. Obviously it has been a purposely overdose, but it's very important for people to be aware of the risks.
Because it's very important to remember people that have lost lives, but also to help change lives in the future.
Holding my t-shirt, it's important, don't punish. Again, it's just what I was saying, it's echoing that story about actually hard work
Well, I think we spent the last 100 years stigmatising people, and it's only the last couple of years that we're actually seeing it more of a health issue. And I think that's what we've got to do, really. It's just provide awareness. It's not a moral thing. It's just, a medical thing. And once you see it as a medical problem, you get different solutions suddenly appear.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a difficult question. There's a lot of stigma around many aspects of mental health, and overdose just overlaps into that, I guess. The two, for me, go hand in hand. You know, if there's stigma with one, it generally means that runs into having stigma with the other. It's a topic that people tend to shy away from, particularly because the end result is end of life, and it's a particularly difficult thing to broach and talk about. So the first, or the main thing regarding tackling the stigma would be encouraging people just to be open, to express how they feel, to talk about it, whether that's how they feel or whether it's something that they've been directly impacted by as a result of a third party.
I think we've got to humanise drug users, and I think that's one of the things that sadly has happened to the image of drug users. They've been dehumanised, and the more that we see that people who use drugs are just like me, just like you, the easier it is to support them and to lead the lives that they want to lead.
But like, you know, people who I suppose stigmatise us, we're not all bad, you know, we're not all bad. We do things for our community, and we do the best that we can to try to help people, you know, and to get the message across that, you know, people, there's generally trauma or something involved in people's using. You know, you don't choose to end up on the street and you know, using and abusing yourself every day. You know, there's generally something behind it, you know, so I think it's more about trying to find out what that is.
Instead of just seeing the drug, see the person, there's always a reason behind it.
I remember him, we're all human. Do more stuff to get the word out there. You know, that people can't turn the light around. People just need some support.
Tackling the stigma is difficult, but I think people just need to realise that everyone's one mistake or one trauma away from being in a similar situation. It's not like everyone chooses to be in that situation. I think people just need to see them for what they are, which is human.
By speaking to people about it, speaking to somebody who's been through the situation, who you can relate to and identify.
Because people who are in active addiction are not really bad people. You know, they're just sick people trying to get well. Majority of people who've in active addiction have experienced some sort of trauma in their life and don't know how to deal with pain. So they're using the substance obviously to block out the pain of the trauma. You know, but the illness is progressive, and one drug stops doing what it started doing, and then it progresses on to something else. But then obviously people, the tolerance level is obviously, you know, some people, you know, think they can use the same amount as what they started using, and you know, that's where the overdose happens, because they take too much.
I think we've all got a kind of, we've got a responsibility to kind of challenge this understanding of what life's about, what people are, and what their choices are, and we've got to start working together to challenge. I think it's about challenging it.
Just be kind.
I think the first thing we have to do is not try and alienate, like, and segregate, like, addiction is like, me personally, it's like a criminal offence. You know, for me, it's like an illness, and I believe, like, people who maybe not suffer from substance abuse know somebody or a family member, and we just need, like, make the game personally is compassion and empathy for these people, because I was one, you know, I was one of these people, and by the grace of Recovery Connections and all my recovery stuff I do on Plane today, you know.
To let people make people aware that they are normal people, they've had a different life to you, they've gone down a different path, doesn't make them a bad person.
Because I think even if you haven't had addiction yourself, you know someone who's had addiction, whether it's a friend or a relative, so even a tiny little bit, if we all put a little bit of work in, we can probably make a big lot of differences.
Because I believe it touches everybody's heart this year. Everybody's been affected by somebody they've lost to this. Myself personally. And just, yeah, get the word out there.
I want to be part of this to raise awareness about like how serious overdoses and how real it is in this town. You know, for me, it's becoming more prevalent every day. More people are dying. You know, not just from heroin now, it's from pre-gabalins, from Zopiclone, so now you've got the spice epidemic kicking in. People, I'm seeing them dropping, you know, and it scares me. So I believe that the more awareness out there, the more education we can get on this stuff, you know, the safer people will be.
As I've mentioned before, this is something which has impacted me both professionally and personally. And on both counts, I can see that there was a clear indication of a cry for help, a want by the person to be heard, to be recognised for their feelings of how they felt about feeling that they would needed to take their own life but being unable to express it. And I just want to be able to convey that message that everybody should be talking about it, and you know, it shouldn't be such a taboo subject.
Recovery is everything I stand for. I love what I do and I just want to get the message out there to people.
I want to do this video because for me, too many people are dying from drug-related deaths, and that needs to stop.
Because I really believe that people, you know, that we're all kind of on a journey for a reason, and it's sad to lose people. It's just very sad.
I'd like to be part of this video because, you know, as I said, you know, I lost my dad. I lost my dad to like overdose, you know, they played a major factor in his death, and also to, you know, to get the word out. I'm in recovery myself, you know, I'm in recovery not a lot of drug addict, so I suppose I'm here to prove that it does work, you know, if you put the word in, you put the action in, it works, and it works, and we're living proof of that, you know what I mean? So if someone can look at me and what I've spoken about, and you know, I've got sober, and I've got myself clean from drugs, you know, and I have been for a while now, you know, I'm a few years into it now, you know, my life is a lot better, so it is possible, you know,
I think it's important that everyone has a different outlook and things that aren't always what they're seeing. So I think it's important to raise awareness.
Because it's important to me that people realise that these people are just normal people. They're just going through a difficult time and they can come back from this.
Because it's something that is close to my heart. Yeah, like, and obviously, if there's anybody struggling, speak to somebody.